Thank you. First of all, I want to thank you for joining us today. We want to share some very important information regarding a case that is very near and dear to this department, to this city, and to the community of Denver. I also want to acknowledge many of the agencies and individuals that have helped us along the way with bringing some small sense of closure to the Jall family. You'll hear from the mayor, you'll hear from Papadilla, but I also want to thank the Denver District Attorney's Office. I want to thank the ATF, the U.S. Secret Service. I want to thank the Denver Fire Department, our partners at Crime Stoppers, and the Executive Director for Public Safety who helped us ensure we had enough resources to bring some closure to this case. Let me start by acknowledging that why we're here, what brought us here. On August 5th of 2020, Gibi, Ajaya, their 2-year-old daughter, Khadijah, Hassan, her daughter, Hawaii Bay, were killed in an intentional fire in the 5300 block of Truckee Street. Today, we announce that we have arrested 3 juveniles for this crime. These suspects, 2 of which are 16, 1 is 15, were arrested this morning in Jefferson County. They are currently being held for investigation of 5 counts of first-degree murder, 5 counts of murder in the first degree with extreme indifference, 3 counts of criminal attempt murder in the first degree with extreme indifference, 2 counts of first-degree assault with extreme indifference, 1 count of first-degree burglary, 1 count of second-degree burglary, 3 counts of first-degree arson, and 8 counts of fourth-degree arson. Now, due to the ages of our suspects, there is limited information that we can share at this time. But what I can say is that the evidence that we have uncovered, the circumstances and the facts that we have found to this point do not, let me repeat, do not indicate that this is a bias-motivated crime. Arresting those who committed this crime was one of the top priorities for the entire safety department. And we worked closely with our partners in order to accomplish this goal. I want to thank our homicide team for their tireless effort on this case. They spent a significant amount of time working to help us bring closure to the Jall family. None of this would be possible without homicide, major crimes, and the partners that I have listed. Today marks a significant day in providing a small sense of relief to the Jall family. Well, we are saddened. We are also thankful that those who allegedly committed this crime were brought to justice and placed in custody. With that said, I'd like to introduce the mayor, Mayor Michael B. Hancock.
Thank you, Chief. As far as I can remember, in the 10 years as mayor of the city, this is the first time I've showed up at a DPD press conference following the arrest of suspects in a crime. But this was one of the most heinous crimes I've ever seen or witnessed in our city, as mayor or otherwise. And it was also very, hit me to the core. And I was struck by the sense of diligence and commitment and dedication of the men and women of this department, of the ATF, of the Secret Service, of the arson division, of our fire department, and many other law enforcement agencies, when this happened, that we would do everything we could, turn over every rock, make sure we looked at every nook and cranny to make sure that this crime was solved. And so, Chief, I'm honored to stand with you today to thank the men and women of this department, in particular, as you mentioned, the Homicide Division and the Major Crimes Division, for the tremendous work that they put in, the many, many, many hours, again, turning over every rock to make sure that we saw this crime. I want to once again to extend to the Jaw family, on behalf of this city, our deepest condolences, not only to the Jaw family, but to the Senegalese community, the entire Denver community, for this tragedy that occurred in the life of our community just a little less than 6 months ago. Today marks the first step to making sure we hold those responsible for this crime. Many of us, if not all of us, have wondered to ourselves and out loud who could commit such a crime to such a beautiful family. I want to share with you that I spoke just about an hour ago to the Consulate General who flew out to Denver following this crime, Consulate General, the Honorable El Haji, and I share with him, of course, that there was a break in the crime, that arrests have been made. He wanted to express, on behalf of the entire Senegalese community, his tremendous confidence and gratitude to the Denver Police Department and all the law enforcement agencies that were involved in helping to solve this crime. And we committed to continue to work together, to stand with the African community and to make sure that they know that their city will always and will continue to stand with them going forward. And so with that, I want to reiterate what Chief Pazen has shared. If anyone has any additional information regarding this crime, we ask you to come forward. And to Crime Stoppers, thank you again for, once again, perennially being that partner in our city, helping us to solve these crimes. It's not over until they are sentenced for their crime, in this heinous crime in our city. But to the Denver Police Department and all of the agencies involved, thank you. The city, the Senegalese community, the Jaw family can breathe a little better, a little easier tonight because you helped us to solve this heinous crime. Thank you, Chief. Now I'll bring up Papadia, the great leader in the African community who has stood and counseled the community and the family during this entire time.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Chief. Thank you, everybody that show up to this press conference. On behalf of the Joel family and the entire community, today is a great day. And we want to start by expressing our gratitude, our appreciation to the entire Denver Police, to Detective Baker, Detective Salas, the mayor's office, the governor. And as you know, we are immigrants that came all the way from Africa to seek opportunity in this great nation. It's so sad that part of our community member in that process of seeking opportunities, their life was tragically taken. But to say, nevertheless, in this horrific time, the entire Colorado community embraced us around their arm, show us love, show us support. The day of the crime, the neighbors opened their door. The mayor showed up. The governor was there. We felt the love and the appreciation from the entire community that tell us this crime happened in isolation and this does not define the great state of Colorado. So just wanted to make sure that's how we feel. We are very appreciative for everybody that supported for the GoFundMe. As you know, when you have an entire family taken away, the process can be difficult. But it was possible largely because of the great citizen of the state of Colorado. As you know, this is a case that the Senegalese government is following closely. The president was involved, as the mayor said. The consul general flew in, and we were on the phone. He also expressed his gratitude and appreciation. I was on the phone with Jibril's dad, and I'm here also with Jibril's brother, Musa and Abdul, and Jibril's best friend, Usman. And they had a lot of young friends and young people also that were involved in helping. We want to express our gratitude. To the media, you have done an amazing job covering this case because it's been 6 months. At some point, we lost hope. We were afraid that this could become a cold case. But the media stayed on top of it, making sure they bring it up and people knew about it. Just know, on behalf of the Joel family, the Senegalese community, and the entire African immigrant community, it's been a rough year. Not just for us, but for all of us because of the pandemic. But on top of that, having to deal with the loss of beautiful people like this. We are grateful, but we're still in pain. Arrest has been made, but we know it's not going to bring these beautiful people back. So our message is, let's embrace one another. Let's love each other. Let's not let horrific crime like this define who we are as a nation and who we could be as a state. Thank you for having us. Thank you.
I mentioned earlier that we have 3 juvenile suspects, so we are going to be limited in what we can share, but at this time we will open up for questions. Deborah? So again, without jeopardizing the integrity of the investigation and the case, and as has been mentioned previously, that now we move to successful prosecution. We're confident in the Denver District Attorney's Office, but we can't share information other than to indicate that there are no facts that we are aware of at this time that would indicate this is a bias-motivated case. If something changes, then obviously we can make changes to those types of charges. But we are very confident in the investigators' work, the work with our federal partners on this, that we have a good understanding of the hows and the whys on this. We just cannot share at this time because now we move to successful prosecution. Rick?
Chief, have you found any involvement of an adult in any way in this case?
These are the 3 individuals that we believe are responsible for this horrific crime, a crime that has impacted our entire city, our community. This is a beautiful family that is no longer with us. And the juveniles that we have, we believe, are the ones responsible. Other parts of the case are ongoing, and there'll be additional information as it becomes available.
Is there a family member of one of the juveniles that you're looking at?
As I read off the 22 or 23 charges that I've indicated, the focus right now is on the 3 individuals that are in custody for the horrific killing of the Shaw family.
Chief Pazen, this is Katie Eastman
Is
over
that okay?
the phone
This
with
one?
9 News. I wanted to ask if there's any indication that the DA plans to charge these individuals as adults, and if if you believe these 3 individuals were the 3 masked suspects in that surveillance photo.
Katie, nice to hear your voice. Again, we wouldn't comment on the district attorney's case now. We will work closely with them moving forward. As far as getting into specifics, I'm going to repeat what I stated earlier. We believe that we have the 3 individuals that were responsible for this tragic killing of the Jal family.
Can you talk a little bit about what this means for the community, the Senegalese community specifically? Do you feel like people can sort of breathe a little bit easier? I know there was a lot of concerns about people being targeted. Can you provide a little bit more of a reaction about how this helps the community?
Yes, thanks for your question. Yes, it is a relief. However, there's still some concern about the crime, and especially not knowing the why. And we need to still protect the investigation. There's still some concern, but I'm going to be working with the detective to continue our great collaboration with the community to put them at ease. But yeah, there've been some concern, but hopefully this arrest bring a little bit of relief, and the continuous effort of collaboration will put them more at ease. Thank you.
No. Everybody heard that? This was not related to the 6th and Pearl arrest. Two separate incidences. Deborah, you had another one? I am confident in the work of our investigators and federal partners on this. Again, without giving away too many of the details, we believe we have the folks that are responsible, and if that expands, we certainly will share that information as it becomes available and as it protects the integrity of the ongoing prosecution of the case. Oh, Karen, hold off 1 second. We got a question here, and then I'll go to you, Karen, okay? Jackie? Amazing work by our investigators and our federal partners. They have done an unbelievable job on this. There was very limited information that we had on this, and this was as complex of an investigation as I'm aware of in my entire career, and they did an amazing job. So I can't give away the details. This is very sensitive information because successful prosecution is critical in this case. Jackie. Karen, can we go to you on the phone?
Yeah, I just had a question about if you ruled out a bias-motivated crime, can you elaborate on what kind of motive there may be behind this or any sort of connection? You also mentioned that it was isolated.
Yes, Karen, and I hope, it doesn't sound like I'm talking in circles here. I have to point out the fact that successful prosecution, protecting the integrity of the case is paramount as we move into this next phase. But I can tell you that, again, due to the extensive work by our investigators, our federal partners, the evidence that they have uncovered, that we are very confident today to say that we do not believe that this is a bias-motivated crime. And then I add that caveat that if facts change as this investigation and prosecution continues, then we certainly can add that. But based on this very extensive investigation, I am confident in saying that this does not appear to be a bias-motivated crime.
But can you elaborate on any?
Karen, I can't.
Follow-up to that.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Karen.
Can you elaborate on any type of motive in this case?
Not without unnecessarily potentially jeopardizing the case. Thank you.
This is Connor from Westward. I heard you mention in the charges there were some charges for first-degree assault. Does that mean there was some sort of struggle that occurred before the fire was set?
Too many details there, Connor. Again, we're not going to get into specifics because of the integrity of the case. And as information, as this progresses, there may be opportunities in the future. Good. Looks like Rick here has a question.
Photos were distributed of three people in hoodies and masks not too long after this incident took place. Do you believe the three juveniles in custody are the three who were in that picture?
We believe that the three individuals that we have in custody are responsible for this horrific crime. And getting into specific details is just something that I'm not comfortable doing at this moment.
Again, oh, sorry, Jeremy, you go.
Yeah, Chief, Jeremy Hall here with 9 News. We're seeing some things in the public record that there may have been an adult arrested in this case. Any comment on that?
I want to. So Jeremy, good hearing your voice. I want to focus on the 3 individuals that we have in custody that we believe are responsible for this horrific crime, taking the Jal family away from us and our community. As additional information becomes available, we will share that. And Katie, I think you were up next.
I have the same question, no worries.
Yes. Let me kind of wrap it up here. As Papadia indicated, we are thankful that you all, the media, helped keep the community focused on this. The Crime Stoppers and the significant amount of money they raised for this showed how much this impacted our community, our Denver family, and we really appreciate your help. I would ask that you also recognize how important it is to protect the integrity of the case. By no means are we trying to dodge questions, but as we move into this next phase, it is critical that we have successful prosecution, and sharing details, as small as they may be, we have to be cognizant of that fact because that's the next important date is trials and convictions. Are we,
Lance Hernandez with Channel 7. Quick question. You mentioned the Crime Stoppers reports. How crucial was that to helping you guys piece this together?
and maybe Mike Mills was going to ask the same question here in the room. Lance, our partnership with Crime Stoppers is invaluable. The fact that Papadia, the Senegalese community, the work of having rallies at the state capitol, keeping this horrific crime, keeping the Jal family at the forefront of our consciousness was critical to help us come to some small sense of closure for the family. So all of it plays a big part in raising awareness and addressing this senseless, horrific crime that we now can say we believe we have closure on. And then we're going to switch to Lance, or I'm sorry, Lance, we just talked to you. Mike?
Oh, I'm just wondering, would you still like Crime Stoppers to offer the reward for additional information around this case?
Mike, thank you. And I don't know if you heard this on the phone, but media partners, we want to make sure that we have successful prosecution. So if there's anybody in our community that has additional information that can help us on this case, we ask that they come forward. We ask that they continue to utilize Crime Stoppers in helping us to further this case, as well as to help us address cases that we see throughout the Denver metro area. Rick, not getting into any of the details, I want to, one, focus on this was an incredibly complex case. Our investigators, our federal partners deserve a ton of kudos for the work that they did in this particular incident. This is at a level that I have not seen in 2 decades. All right.
Esteban, again, I just wanted to ask, can you provide the gender of the 3 teenagers?
3 males, Esteban, and we're going to wrap it up. Thank you all. We appreciate your help on this.